Congrats, you finally took the GRE and the GMAT, and now, almost invariably, you ask yourself, wait, now that it's over, should I take it again? Here are 6 factors you should think about as you make that decision. Regret minimalization. Imagine you're about to hit submit on your application. Try to even visualize where you'll be. Will you be able to sit back and say, I don't know what happened, but I gave it my best shot? Or will you say, I wish I'd tried that GRE GMAT once more? Only you can imagine how you'll feel. But there's a non-admissions answer, a human, pragmatic answer that you should consider. Also, you should ask yourself, can I do better? This may seem obvious, but some will get frustrated by the test and bang their heads against the wall for months or even years before accepting that their score is lower than they'd hoped. There's that inner monologue again. You have to ask yourself if you sincerely believe you can improve if you're going to take the test again. Did you have an amazing practice test that gives you hope, or are you just maxing out and the test is telling you something? I can't tell you precisely when, but there's a point where you have to recognize that your time could be better spent on other aspects of your application, or you may reluctantly have to shift your focus to less competitive programs. You may also want to take the test again if your scores are lopsided. Lopsided, I say? Yes, lopsided. So maybe you performed quite well in the GMAT. You have a 730, congrats. But your quant score is a 43 or a 45th percentile overall, a score which doesn't prove your analytical competence. Note, a 46 to 47 raw score does that. Maybe with confidence that you can improve, you take the test again to raise your quant score. Or maybe you have a GRE with a 160 verbal, and that's 85th percentile, and a 168th quant, and that's a 98th percentile, solid score. But you think you can lift that verbal score by 2 points and get to a 330 combined GRE score, which puts you at or above all averages at top schools. Because, again, you had that higher test score and you feel confident that you can raise it up and improve your overall score. Or maybe you took your GMAT IR and it didn't work out. You had a surprisingly low score, a 5 or less. Maybe you want to lift that score. Well, these are cases where you may take the test again to bring the picture into balance. Similar to this lopsided issue, you may want to take the test again if your GPA is low. Again, this is pretty pragmatic. It's tough to get into a target program with a GMAT and GPA that are both below the average. So you should probably invest more time if you really need to prove yourself to the AdCom because your grades leave something to be desired. Of course, again, you have to think about that relative to your ability to improve. Time is also a factor for some. Maybe you take a test again because the stakes are low and you have time. More and more applicants are taking the test while they have time in college. So what if you aren't planning to apply for 2 or 3 or more years, and you're generally happy with your target score? Target score is valid for 5 years. So you have time to put your head down, study hard, possibly do better in the future. Why not do that now? It'll be hard to start from scratch in 3 or 4 years. So while you're sharp, study and take the test again. This is not like riding a bicycle. It'll take time to get back to a comfortable place and take the test again. So again, take the test while you're hot, so to speak. Finally, what if you have nothing to lose? You can take the GMAT 8 times in your life and 5 times in a calendar year. You can take the GRE 5 times in a calendar year, and there are no lifetime limits on testing. So you take the test once, twice, 3 times, take it again? Well, doesn't that fly in the face of our first bullet? Can you do better? Some may just want to max out with the hopes that the 5th time is the charm. This isn't totally insane, though again, we do think you should have some hope of improving. Maybe it all comes together in the right moment on that last attempt. We can think of a few who nailed that landing on the 5th test. You only live once. If you're a true believer, it may just pay off. Of course, the GMAT or GRE aren't everything. They're a piece of the puzzle. So if you're trying to contextualize your score within your entire application, you may want to check out our video, our 4-part series, in fact, on Am I a Competitive MBA Applicant? Good luck with your applications.